What is the least important part of setting goals, which is probably also the same part that you're focusing on the most, which is probably why you're not achieving your goals? You're not going to believe this. The least important part of setting a goal is actually the goal itself. Now, I know this sounds crazy, I know it sounds paradoxical, but what happens for most people, unfortunately, is they set the goal and then they stop there. But actually, this is really just the beginning of a much bigger process. Now, before I go deeper into this, if you find yourself liking this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you'll be notified when I put new videos out. And if you'd like to take this topic much deeper, I have put in the description right here down below some free NLP training that will help you do that. The first thing to understand is that no goal has any inherent value. So if you think about what it is that you want to accomplish, say maybe that's simply an accomplishment, like not something tangible that you can put your hands on. Maybe it's running a marathon. Maybe it's being able to do something physical or traveling somewhere. So it is tangible in the sense that it's sensory based. We always want our goals to be sensory based, but it could be something that's more along the lines of an accomplishment. And then you could have a goal that is more sort of material based, like making more money or buying a new house or buying a new car. So either one of those is fine. You just want to make sure that your goal is something you can see, you can hear, you can touch, that is real in the sensory based sense. Because you have to be able to measure whether or not you're getting closer to the goal or moving further away from the goal. So that's the beginning. You need to know that you have something tangible, something that shows up in within one or two or more of the five senses. Now, understand that that goal, whether it's material or it's an accomplishment, has no inherent value, meaning that it doesn't have value on its own. It only has the value that you're projecting onto it, or the value that maybe other people project onto it. So for example, someone may not have any interest in buying a new car, but for you, this is very valuable. Same thing with a house, the same thing with an accomplishment. I mentioned running a marathon. I have no interest in running a marathon, but for you, that might be very important. So the marathon itself, the car itself, the house itself, doesn't have its own value. It only has the value that someone projects onto it. And this is very, very important to understand, because most of the time when people think of a goal, they think of something that sort of on its own has its own value. And this gets really important to understand when we go chasing goals because other people value the goal, but we don't actually value it. We don't know that though, because we haven't explored this deeper. So we go chasing a goal that when you get it, it might feel empty. It might feel unfulfilling because you were going along with the projections of other people. Other people were valuing that goal, so you went along with it. You thought, well, this must be valuable. Everybody else wants it. You go and you get it, and you go, okay, this doesn't do it for me. What happened? Is there something wrong with me? No, there's not anything wrong with you. It's just that you didn't look deeper into this, and you can save yourself years of effort and frustration, and probably a lot of money, understanding first and foremost whether or not you truly value a goal before you go after it. Now, other people would like to challenge me more on this about inherent value, and they'll say, well, money has inherent value. Money has the value that is stamped on the money, but that's not true either, because if you take a $100 bill and you put it in front of a multi-billionaire, a person who makes six figures a year, and a homeless person, obviously that $100 has a variation in value between those three people. So once again, no goal or accomplishment has any inherent value. It's only the value that you project onto it. And so we want to spend our lives focusing on achieving goals that do have the value in them, or at least the process of achieving them provides us the fulfillment of those values that we're after. This is so important. And this is what makes going after a goal that will truly fulfill you, that you truly value. This is what makes you have unstoppable motivation to get that goal, to achieve that goal, because the process itself is fulfilling. The process itself fulfills your highest values. And when that happens, you will always come back to it. You will keep going after that goal. The goal itself might actually even change, and this is another important factor. The goal is just a placeholder. That's why I say you should not put so much emphasis on the goal itself. As you start to move toward achieving that goal, you might get a lot more clarity. And I don't even want to say you might. You most likely will get a lot more clarity about what actually fulfills you. And then you go, okay, well, this goal is okay, but I can think of a better goal to go after. So you modify the goal, or you throw out the old goal and you start a new goal. Because as you behave in alignment, you act in alignment, you pursue something in alignment with your values, you get more and more information, you get more and more feedback, and then you realize more and more, you get more clarity about what really does it for you, what really fulfills you. Now, another problem with only focusing on a goal and not realizing that there's a lot more going on, there's a lot more to the picture here than just the goal itself, is people put so much emphasis on the goal or maybe the strategy to achieve the goal. And because they don't really understand what else is going on, they don't understand how to address inner resistance, they don't really know what their values are, all that emphasis goes on the goal and whether or not you accomplish it. And so if you don't accomplish it because you don't really understand your values that are driving it, the values that you're projecting onto the goal. So if you don't understand that, a lot of times we run out of motivation and then we don't achieve it. And then what happens at that point is we think, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't deserve it. And so you go into this self-worth pattern or lack of self-worth pattern, and we beat ourselves up. And this is not going to help you. For one thing, it will make you feel down on yourself and like you don't want to actually go out there and put yourself out there and try to achieve something if you're beating yourself up like that. Now, the other thing that can happen is you do actually achieve the goal, but because you didn't understand beforehand that this goal really wasn't aligned with your values, it feels very empty. It feels very unfulfilling. And so what happens is you go, okay, well, what do I do now? I achieved it, got it, and I'm not happy or fulfilled. Maybe I need to go set another goal. And then you set another goal. You put all that attention and emphasis on that goal. You spend the next few years disciplining yourself, willing yourself, sacrificing to achieve that goal. And so that's not fun. That's not fulfilling. And then once again, you achieve the goal, you maybe get a few hours of fulfillment because you're happy you finally achieved it, but then that evaporates very quickly and you're back on that treadmill all over again. That's no way to live your life. So we got to understand that there is more to all of this. There's more to achieving goals than achieving goals. The point of achieving goals is to move toward your own fulfillment, to go deeper with your fulfillment. The goal is just sort of a target, a direction to look in, to know that you're moving closer to it. But at the same time, it's bringing you deeper and deeper into deeper levels of fulfillment. So if you're chasing a goal with the feeling that your self-worth is at stake here, there's something wrong right there. You need to reevaluate. You need to do a values elicitation. You need to step back and take a look and realize that no accomplishment, no achievement of any goal, it has anything really to do with your self-worth. Because self-worth is not an issue. It's not a real thing. I know that's maybe hard to understand, but I have other videos where I talk about this. I'll link those videos here. And if you go after your goals without that burden, without that pressure of it being about your self-worth, it's so much easier to accomplish. So we want to remove that piece to it right away, right from the start. So if you're feeling that this goal that you're setting has anything to do with your self-worth, doesn't mean that the goal is wrong. It just means that you need to get clear about that is in fact not true. And if you pursue this goal with that burden, with that pressure on yourself, you're likely to collapse under that pressure. And at the very least, even if you achieve the goal, that burden will slow you down tremendously. One of the ways that you want to treat going after a goal is like a scientist. So treat the goal as a theory. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can write that novel. Maybe I can run that marathon. Maybe I can start that new business. I need to understand this better. I need to know if this really aligns with my values, if this will, in fact, give me fulfillment as I go through this process. Not just the goal itself, but the process of achieving that goal. Will that fulfill me? Approach it like a scientist. So this will help you take the self-worth issue out of it. So it's like, well, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. I know other people can do it. Maybe I can do it too. Let me go and test. Let me go try some things out here. Let me learn more about this. Let me take some action and move toward it and see, oh yeah, okay, this does feel right. This does feel like it fulfills me. And I have a better sense of whether or not I can accomplish this. And so I either proceed or I don't proceed. It's an experiment. It's an exploration. Will this work for me? And do I really feel like I can do this? And at the same time that you're a scientist and you're approaching this as a scientific experiment, you also want to approach it as if it's an artistic project. It's a creative project. How might this goal that you're going after express and fulfill your highest values? This is extremely powerful. This is where a lot of the fulfillment comes from. Really take note of that. So you're the scientist and you're the artist at the same time, looking at this goal and saying, okay, is this theory, can I prove this theory true, or is the theory not true? So you're holding the goal gently. And then as an artist, you're looking at this and saying, okay, does this express my highest values? Can I express myself through my highest values by achieving this goal? Can I fulfill my highest values by achieving this goal? So to summarize, there's a lot more to goal setting than the goal itself. And in NLP, what we use is a well-formed outcome where we do a value solicitation. We also check ecology, we check congruence, we look for resistance. We basically expand on the goal itself to really find out the roots. If you think of like an iceberg, that analogy of an iceberg where you just see the tip. The tip is like the goal, but underneath is really the largest part of the iceberg, but it's underneath. And so what we got to do is we got to explore that. We got to find out, what is this really about for us? And when you do that, it really makes the goal itself, it puts it in its proper perspective, and it makes it so much easier to achieve. If you want to understand how to do a well-formed outcome, that's what I put in the description right here down below. You just click that link and you'll get free access to how to do a well-formed outcome. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the bell so you'll be notified when I put new videos out. Last but not least, if you can think of a friend or a family member who would benefit from this video, make sure you share it with them. Take care.